Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this free training. In this training, I'm going to share with you how we helped Sam build and scale his dropshipping store from zero to $20,000 a month as a failed beginner. So not only am I going to pull the curtain and share with you exactly how we helped him achieve this, but I'll also share with you in-depth actionable steps that you can take and implement yourself so that you can get similar results. My goal from this training is to help you in your dropshipping journey, and it doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner who's still trying to learn things, who's still trying to figure out things, or if you're a failed beginner who has been trying things and trying to make it work, but you haven't found any real success. If that's you, by the end of this training, I'll provide you with an exact step-by-step process that you can implement and build a $10,000 to $20,000 a month dropshipping store this year. Now, before I jump into the training, I'd also like to let you know that if you guys watch this training till the very end, I have a free bonus for you. So by simply watching this training till the very end, not only will you learn how to build a $10,000 to $20,000 a month dropshipping store, but as a bonus, I'll give you a product sourcing supplier guide. Now, inside of this guide, I share with you a list of tested and reliable suppliers that you can use for your store. These are supplies that we have personally used and are beginner friendly as well, so you do not need to worry about having a minimum order value. You get to work with high quality reliable suppliers without any commitments. It's super easy, super beginner friendly, and this will help you solve one of the biggest issues that most dropshippers face, which is reliable and fast shipping and finding trusted suppliers. Now, to get this guide for absolutely free, all you have to do is watch this free training till the very end, and in the end, which will be about the last 30 seconds of the training, I'll tell you exactly how to get access to this guide. So make sure you watch this till the end. With that being said, take out a pen and a notepad and let's jump right into it. So how did we help Sam go from a failed beginner who had tried dropshipping and had already spent around $4,000 on ads and different services? How did we take him from that to scaling his store to $20,000 plus a month?
Hey guys, Sam here. So I just want to record this quick testimonial for Joshua. I've been working with Joshua for 5 months now, and after joining this program, I started a new store following all of his strategies and did everything he told me to do. And last month, my store did over $20,000 in sales, and that's just 1 month. Even now when I say it, it sounds pretty unreal, but I'd just like to take this moment to thank Joshua and his team. The mentorship has been life-changing, and if you're someone that wants to build a successful store, then don't even think about it twice. Just join the program. It's been the best investment I've ever made, and I'm 100% sure it'll be the same for you.
And just so you know, Sam isn't the only one we've helped. I've worked with over 300 dropshippers, and I've helped them build and scale their stores to multiple 5 figures a month consistently. Some of the results you can see on the screen right now. So let me break this down for you. Let's go over the first step. So first and foremost, it's important to understand why most dropshippers fail. And why that is so important is because if you do not realize and if you do not acknowledge your mistakes, then you cannot fix them. Everyone talks about what you should do and strategies that you should follow, but no one really talks about things that you shouldn't do. And that is very important as well. So to help you understand, let me paint you a picture of the average beginner dropshipper and let me know if this sounds familiar or if you can relate to this. So the journey of an average dropshipper. You're scrolling through YouTube, you come across a YouTube video and you get introduced to dropshipping. On YouTube, almost 99% of the guys portray dropshipping as this easy side hustle that anyone can make money from, even if they're a complete beginner and have zero experience. So you see this video, you see these people making tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that makes you want to get into it. You're motivated and you start to find products. You get started with your product research, you look through AliExpress, and you finally find a product that you think is a winning product. Next, you take that product and you build a store by yourself. It takes you some time to get the hang of it, but you build a store and you're very proud of it, and with that excitement, you move forward. You finally get started with running ads. You create an ad creative and you publish your first ad campaign, and then you wait. Your ad campaign gets approved, and now you cannot stop yourself from checking your Shopify dashboard and the ad account every 30 minutes. You're waiting every 30 minutes, checking, refreshing the pages, waiting for an order. A day passes, no orders, but you still don't lose hope and keep going. You wait for 3 days and still no orders. You spent a ton of money on ads only to see either no sales or maybe a few that aren't even a handful. But you still don't give up. You find another product, you go through the same process again and again spend money on ads only to get no profit in return. And most dropshippers keep going in this cycle with the hope that eventually something will work out. In this cycle, most dropshippers spend weeks, if not months of their time, a ton of energy, a ton of money trying to make it work. And when they see no results, they get demotivated and they give up. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the journey of the average dropshipper, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. I personally know this because I've worked with hundreds of people and I've seen this firsthand. This is a similar cycle that Sam went through as well. And not just Sam, but most of our students go through a similar phase before they work with us, and I do not blame you guys for the failure of your stores. This is not your fault. Now that begs the question, well, why do most beginners fail? So let me explain. The main reason why most dropshippers fail is because of their mindset. Now don't worry, I'm not going to turn into Tony Robbins, but I want to break this down very practically for you. Now most dropshippers get into dropshipping because it is portrayed as this easy and quick internet hustle. It's a hustle that you can use to make tons of money, and most of these guys that tell you this will show you the mansions, the supercars and expensive watches to prove their point, and this is where the problem stems from. The first thing that you need to understand is that dropshipping is not an easy, quick internet side hustle. Dropshipping is a real business model. So before you jump into it, you need to tell yourself that you are about to start a real business. This is very important because you need to prepare yourself to build a business. And building a business, trust me guys, is far from quick and easy. It's not as most people portray it as. You're building an actual business. So give it the priority and the importance that it needs. Now, dropshipping as a business model is one of the best out there. There's one huge upside to dropshipping. As a business model, dropshipping is better than most businesses out there. And that is because with dropshipping, anyone from any country and of any age can build a successful dropshipping business. The barrier to entry is super low, and at the same time, the reward in the upside is super high, which is why, trust me, it is one of the best business models. So what you need to understand is that the business model is not the issue. You cannot blame dropshipping as a business model just because you failed. The main issue is in the expectations. When these guys on YouTube flex their mansions and cars and watches, they're selling you a fake dream. And they do so because it is easy and attractive. However, I do not want you to start dropshipping with those expectations in mind. As I said earlier, you're building a real business. So set your expectations accordingly and get into it with the expectation of building a real business and not an internet side hustle to buy watches and buy supercars. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't make enough money from dropshipping to buy supercars or watches or houses. You absolutely can. However, that should not be your main focus when getting started. Because if you focus on those things, then you do not look at the bigger picture and will only treat it as a get-rich-quick scheme, which will eventually lead to failure. A lot of guys don't like to talk about mindset, but trust me, this is super important to understand. And like many of our students, this was the first thing we worked with when Sam joined our program. Shifting his mindset and helping him understand what he is actually doing and why he's doing that, and helping him see the bigger picture and understand what goes into building a real business was the first step towards building a successful store. And if you want to build a successful store, well, that is the first step that you need to make as well. This simple mindset shift will instantly put you way ahead of most people and on the path that you need to be in order to build a multi-5-figure month store. So that is the first step. You start with shifting your mindset. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump into more practical stuff. So here is what I want you to understand first. A successful store can be simplified and broken down into 3 parts. Number 1, product research. Number 2, your website. Number 3, marketing. If you were to break down a successful store to its skeleton, this is what it will look like. Now, it's super important that all three of these are done properly and work in sync with each other, because if one of these is done wrong, you are going to fail. I want you to look at a successful store like a machine. If one part of the machine is not functioning properly, then the whole machine won't function. So it won't matter how great your marketing is or how great your store is if your product sucks. And the same goes for the store. It doesn't matter how great your product is and how good your marketing is, you will fail if your store sucks. So it's very important for all three of these to work in sync and be done properly. You cannot ignore one and give importance to the other two. All three need to be done properly, because these are the three components that will help you build a successful store, and that is what we help Sam do. So let's break each of these down in detail. First, let's start with product research. So once we helped Sam make that mindset shift, the next step was getting into the fun part and starting the real process, which is product research. I'm sure a lot of you don't agree with me when I call product research the fun part, and I totally get it, because product research is super hard. It's very time consuming and a huge factor in the success of your store, which makes it super important. However, it's hard and frustrating when you do not really know what you're doing, and that is why most dropshippers can't find a winning product. It's because they don't know what they're doing and why they're doing it. Now, most dropshippers go looking for different strategies and hope they'll find a winning product, or even worse, some people take products from a research software or a YouTube video and just start selling it. The first step to finding a winning product is actually understanding what a winning product is and how product research works. You need to know exactly why you are doing things and have a clear vision of what kind of products to look for. Because if you don't know that and you're just blindly scrolling through AliExpress or one of the product research softwares looking at products and gambling on products, well, then you are destined to fail. This was a huge mistake Sam had been making before he joined our program as well. And if you can relate to this, don't worry, you are not alone, and we're going to fix that in this training. Now, how do you actually understand and master product research? You start by understanding what a winning product is. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, well, how do you expect to find it? It's the same as looking for treasure, but without a treasure map. You need to know exactly what you're looking for if you want to find it. So let's start by understanding what exactly a winning product is. A winning product is a product which is in demand and is valued by the audience to the point where they are willing to spend their hard-earned money to buy it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a winning product. So let me break that down for you. A product that is in demand, and the second thing is that it is valued by the audience. What that means is that the product brings some value to the customer's life. It isn't just cool looking, but actually brings value to the customer. And because of that reason, people are willing to spend their hard-earned money on that product. You need to understand this first before you start doing product research. If your product does not do the same, then it is not a winning product. Now, this was a quick definition of a winning product. There's more that goes into it and more qualifying factors that play a role into it, some of which I'll share with you in a bit. But even if you understand this small part properly, even if you understand this small definition properly, that in itself will give you a much clearer vision when you're doing product research. So now that you understand what a winning product is, let's go with the types of products you should focus on. Now, when you're doing product research, you come across hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of products. And with so many products out there, it can get overwhelming and confusing as to which products should you focus on. And when Sam started product research, he went through the same thing as well. With so many products out there, it can get very confusing. So to help you out, there are two main types of products that you should focus on. Number one, problem solving, and number two, wow factor products. But this brings up another question. Well, which out of the two is better? Are problem solving products better, or are wow factor products better? And the honest answer is neither. The best product is a combination of both. If you find a product that solves a problem and has a wow factor, well, that is the perfect product. Obviously, also given it qualifies in other factors. But as for the product type, that is the perfect type of product, and that is exactly the type of product that helped Sam scale his store to over $20,000 a month. Also, another thing I want you to understand is everything I shared in this training isn't just me blabbering about stuff. This is proven stuff that we've spent years working on and has generated multiple six figures for our students, one of the examples being Sam. Also, I can't share the exact product that Sam's selling for obvious reasons because he's still selling it, but I'll tell you that the product is exactly what I've mentioned so far. It's a product that is in demand, is valued by the audience, solves a problem, and has a wow factor. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the type of product that you should look for. And here is actual proof that these are the products that will help you scale to multi 5 figures a month. As you can see, there are multiple students of ours that are making multiple 5 figures a month. And the products that they're selling, again, they are products that are in demand, are valued by the audience, solve a problem, and have a wow factor. So there you go. You have actual proof in front of you showing you that this works. The next time you're doing product research, keep this in mind. So now that you know what type of product to look for, the next step is looking for the products, and there is no one right method to finding products. With Sam and our other students, we teach them not just one product research method, but multiple ways to do product research and multiple ways to find these winning products. However, why most dropshippers are unsuccessful with product research is because they do product research the wrong way. Most people use the wrong methods to finding products, which is why most beginners fail. Now, without going off on a tangent, let me give you a straight answer for this. Simply put, do not use these softwares that give you products. And the simple reason is saturation and not proper qualification. Now, I don't want to go off and talk about this a lot, but guys, if you're using softwares that give you products, you're destined to fail. That is not how product research works. So if you're paying a software, well, cancel the subscription and save yourself some money, because that is the wrong way to do it. The products that you'll find in these softwares will be mostly super saturated products or products that do not qualify as a winning product because they do not have the characteristics of a winning product. Most of these softwares add random products every day without properly investing the time into qualifying each product. And also, you need to understand that all the products that you see on these softwares, thousands of others are seeing them exactly at the same time, and there will be 1,000 others trying to sell these to the same audience. So the competition is stupid, and this will limit you a lot as well. But in short, do not waste your time and money on these softwares that say that they'll give you a winning product. It's complete BS. You need to manually do product research and manually qualify each product yourself. And honestly speaking, finding products is easy. The hard part and the most important part is actually qualifying products, which is where most of these softwares lack. And that is why I do not recommend you use it. Now, talking about qualifying products, with Sam and with all of our other students, we share with them a detailed product qualification checklist that makes sure that every product that goes through the list is a winning product and removes any that doesn't qualify. Now, when it comes to qualifying a product, there are a lot of qualification metrics and different methods to qualify products. But to make it simple for you guys, let me share with you 3 easy qualification metrics that you can use to qualify a product. Now, keep in mind, these are just 3 of many others. So these 3 aren't enough, but are a good place to start. When our students do product research and when our students do product qualification, the checklist is a pretty long list of things, but these are 3 easy ways to qualify your products. And to make it super easy for you, I'm going to share with you 3 qualification metrics that you can use from AliExpress, because this way it'll be much easier for you. So all you want to do is go to AliExpress and search for the product. Once you search for the product, here are the 3 things that you want to make sure of. Number 1 is the margin. Now, while looking at the product, be sure to keep in mind that you want at least 200 to 300% profit margins. What that basically means is you should be able to sell the product for at least a 2x or 3x, because this will give you enough room to test and in the future scale the product successfully without any problems and maintain a good profit, because at the end of the day, you're running a real business and profit is key for a successful business. So whatever the product sourcing price is, you should be able to sell it successfully for at least a 2x to 3x. And also, I'd like to let you know that you do not determine if you can sell the product for a 2x or 3x based on what you think. You determine this based on the value that the product brings to the customer, which is why it's important to have a product that solves a real problem. The second thing that you want to look for is the number of orders. A winning product will have at least 1,000 orders from multiple sellers that are selling the same product. And this shows us that the product has been tested before, is still doing well, and is in demand. The third thing that you want to look for is media content. If a product on AliExpress has good amount of media content, This also means that it is selling well because suppliers won't invest money into making good media content, shooting those professional pictures, unless the product has a good sales record and has been selling really well. And this is a good indicator as to if the product is selling well. So ladies and gentlemen, those are 3 quick and easy product qualification metrics. Now keep in mind, I'll say it again, these are just 3 of many metrics. So these 3 are not enough, but a good place to start. I would not recommend just taking these 3 and then saying you found a winning product. These are 3 that are good enough to start, but there are a bunch more. With all of our students, we make each product go through an extensive data-backed qualification list, and only if a product passes all the metrics, then we move forward, which is why our students like Sam have been able to build a $20,000 plus month store, and more importantly, are able to maintain that consistently. So keep that in mind. These 3 are good to start, but are not enough. Now let's move on to the next step. So once we helped Sam find a winning product after all the research and qualification, the next step was building the store. Now within our mentorship program, we build out the first store for our students. So my team will build out your first store for you. And alongside teaching you how to build a high converting branded store, my team will also build your first store completely ready to go. And the reason why we do this is to make sure it's set up for success and that you have a practical example of what a high converting store looks like. And that is exactly what we did for Sam. But to help you guys out, let me break down what goes into building a high converting dropshipping store so that you can take that and implement it yourself. The first thing you need to understand is, why do people buy things and what affects their decision making when they land on an e-commerce store. Now here is a sales secret, and this applies to selling anything and overall sales in general. Trust is equal to sales. Whenever someone buys something from an e-commerce website, they buy because they trust the website. So if people don't trust your website, guess what's going to happen? They are not going to buy from you, and it doesn't matter how good your pricing is or how good your ads are. If you do not build and establish trust, then you're not going to get sales, and that is why most stores cannot convert traffic. Every day I get a lot of people reaching out and sending me the links to their stores, asking me to review it and saying how they've spent hundreds or thousands of dollars in ads but can't convert traffic. They're getting a ton of traffic, but they cannot get sales. And when I look at the stores, almost 97% of the time, all the stores look pretty much the same. All of them look like a dropshipping store. The overall feel and experience of every store is the same. All of them look like dropshipping stores. So if your store looks like every other dropshipping store out there, how do you expect people to trust you enough to buy from you? You need to focus on making sure that your store looks like a professional brand's website. Now the question you might have is, well, how do you do that? And I would love to break it down for you, but as you know, store build is a huge topic, so I'll try to compress and simplify it so that it's quick and easy for you to understand. The key to a high converting store is building a customer journey oriented design. What do I mean by that? To simplify it, design each section with a purpose and understanding of making sure that when someone visits your website from an ad, your goal is to sell them on why they need the product, and you do that through each and every section. Everything from the header to the slideshow banners to the text section, all the way down to the footer. Each section needs to be placed and designed in a specific manner to take someone from being interested and turn them into someone that wants your product. When building your store, through your design, you need to focus on first building trust with your website and not just selling the product. The key here is trust. The first thing you need to do is make people trust your store, and then you do the selling for the product. And the best way to build that trust is through relatability and authority. So incorporate relatability and authority through various sections and copywriting on your store, and that will help you a lot in building that trust. And once you establish that trust, then the next step is selling the product. And how you go about that is by explaining exactly why they need the product. The keyword here is need. You have to help them understand why your product is a necessity. And you do this by painting a picture in their mind and helping them visualize how the product adds value to their life. You need to do this very properly. You cannot just list a few benefits and then be done with it. You need to help people visualize how your product fits into their life and how it makes their life better. Once you've done a good job with that, Then you focus on the call to action, which is where you give them the option to buy the product. If you keep this flow in mind, where you first build trust, then build necessity and need for the product, and then you ask them to buy it, well, that is the key to building a high converting store. So make sure that you don't try to shove the product down their throat as soon as they land on the website. You cannot ask someone to buy a product right away without first building trust, building authority, and building a need for your product. Because as humans, people don't like to feel like they're being sold to. If you start selling right away, they won't trust you and they will never come back to your website. Also, when you're building your store, keep in mind that everything people buy, they buy with emotion and justify with logic. Let me repeat that because this is super important and most people don't even know this. People buy with emotion and justify with logic. That is how human mind works, and you need to make sure that you do your selling in a similar way. What I mean by that is you need to sell the product using emotional factors and then help them justify it with logical benefits. So it's not all about the features of your products, but helping people visualize and building a need for it. You first sell emotionally and then you help them justify with logical reasoning, which would be the features. And if you do that properly, that is how you build a high converting branded store. So that is a quick dive into how we go about building a high converting stores for our students like we did for Sam. And trust me, store build and design is a huge topic. There's a lot that goes into it, but this is the foundation of it. If you understand this properly and implement this properly, this alone will help you so much, and this alone will increase your conversion rate by multiple folds. Now let's move on to the next step. So once we build the store for Sam, the next step was marketing. And this is where most people struggle. And why most people struggle with marketing is because they do not even understand what marketing is and how it works. What most people do is they just look at a strategy and copy paste it without proper knowledge of why they're doing it. So the first thing we worked on with Sam and what we do with all of our other students is educating them on how marketing works and why we implement certain strategies in certain scenarios, and going in depth about why we change certain things, certain budgets, certain targeting, and overall making sure that before you do anything, you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing this. This is super important because again, you're running a real business, and as a business owner, you need to know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. Now, marketing again is a huge topic, and even though it won't be possible for me to cover all of that right now, however, I'll share with you some practical advice that you can take and implement, which is I'll be sharing with you the exact Facebook ads testing phase strategy that we used with Sam for his store when he started testing his product. And this is the exact strategy that initially skyrocketed his sales. So this is tested and proven. However, keep in mind that we've made various changes and additions to this strategy, and our current approach is quite different to this. But this strategy that I'll share with you is the exact strategy step by step that we used for Sam's product, and is exactly the strategy that helped get the product off ground. However, again, as I said, this is not the exact strategy and the exact approach we use right now. We've tailored it a lot, but this will give you a good idea of how to approach product testing. So first things first, when you're starting out, you start in the testing phase. And your goal in the testing phase is to test different audiences, different selling angles, ad copy, ad creatives, and basically figure out what works and what doesn't. Because when it comes to ads, there is no room for assuming. Everything you do should be backed by data, and the best approach to achieve this in the testing phase is by going broad. The strategy that I'm going to share with you is more tailored towards a lower budget, and with a lower budget, you can make the best out of an ABO campaign, which is what this strategy was built around. Because with an ABO campaign and a lower budget, you can spread the budget across different interests perfectly. So this is the strategy. Number one, you want to have the budget at least $5 to $10 a day per ad set. The objective would be conversions, and the location would be worldwide. However, you'll be excluding China, Indonesia, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Nigeria, and Venezuela. Now for the age, you want to keep the age broad, so 18 to 50 plus. And for the gender, you want to go for all gender unless the product is gender specific. For the interest, you want to have one single interest, and the recommended size for the interest is at least 10 million. That's right. The interest size should be at least 10 million and one single interest per ad set. Now, preferably, I recommend having 10 of such ad sets and running these for at least 3 days, no less than 3 days. This is very important, and why I recommend 3 days and no less is because when you are just launching your ads, your pixel is new and also the Facebook algorithm needs time to collect enough data to start pushing your ads to the right audience. So if you don't give it enough time, well, you're not going to see any results. So give it at least 3 days. Also, keep in mind that this is a very budget-friendly ABO testing strat. It might not be the best and the most effective, but it is great as a budget-friendly strategy. And also, as I mentioned earlier, we do not use this strategy anymore, but we've evolved it a lot. There's a different version that we're using. However, this should give you a good idea of how to approach product testing. Now, real quick, I'd also like to share with you when should you kill an ad set, because this is something again I see most people do wrong, and that again is because most people don't know what they're doing and why they're doing it. So when it comes to killing an ad set, there are two very simple things we look for. You do not want to overcomplicate it. Just look at these two things to decide what to do next. So you want to make sure at least one or more of your ad sets meet the following conditions. Number one, the ad set has at least 3 purchases. Or number 2, the cost per purchase is either break even or profitable. If you're not seeing these results just yet and want to test further, that's okay. You can do so as long as you have at least a few purchases across a few ad sets with at least one of the ad sets around the break even or profitable cost per purchase. If that is the case, then you can continue running your ads for a day or two longer, and then again take the 2 points that I mentioned into consideration to decide which ad sets you should kill. However, if after the 3 days your performance is not great, as in your cost per purchase is much higher than it needs to be, and you have very few or no purchases at all, then stop the ads and move on to the next product. Keep in mind that when you run ads, you most probably won't see results right away, and that is normal because ads take time, especially when it's a new ad account, a new store with a new pixel. You may even lose some money initially in the testing phase, but this isn't something new and this isn't something that will only happen to you. This happens to everyone, but you need to push through this and understand that this is a part of the journey. Do not see this as just losing money, but look at it as collecting data. It is very important for you to have this mindset and look at Facebook ads from this lens, because this is the only way to succeed with ads. And as you keep doing it more, as you keep running more ads, you'll keep getting better at it. However, at the same time, you also want to make sure that you follow the right strategies and do not make stupid mistakes or follow stupid strategies. So real quick, I'd also like to touch on scaling, because I'm sure a lot of you might be wondering, how did we help Sam scale his store to $20,000 a month, and how do we help our other students scale to multi-5 figures a month and maintain it? Now, I cannot dive into the exact step-by-step strategy for this scaling, but let me explain to you how scaling actually works, because a lot of people don't understand this. So basically, when it comes to scaling, there are 2 types of scaling that you should focus on. It's very simple. It's not complicated at all. The 2 types are horizontal scaling and vertical scaling. So horizontal scaling means that you're taking your top converting target audience and expanding into other similar interests and similar behaviors. Whereas scaling vertically simply means that you're increasing the budget on your existing campaigns and your existing audiences. So that is what scaling looks like at its simplest form. Now, how you do that and how you try to achieve those 2 things is where different strategies come into play. And scaling is a huge topic again in itself that I cannot dive deep into right now, but this should give you a good picture of what scaling looks like. So now that we've covered the 4 key pillars of building a successful dropshipping store, which are mindset, product research, store build, and marketing, the next question is, how can you achieve similar results, and how can you build a multi-5-figure store like Sam and all of our other students? Now, there are 2 ways for you to move forward from here. Number 1, you take everything I've shared with you today and try to figure it out by yourself. There are a lot of people that do that and see that as the best way of moving forward. And if you think that's the right approach, go for it. However, I'd also like to give you a fair warning that in doing so, you'll probably lose a lot of valuable time, months, or even years trying to figure out how to make things work, because you'll basically be playing a guessing game trying to make something work. You'll be trying to figure out how to exactly find winning products, how to qualify these products, how to build and design a high converting professional store, how to write professional copy that converts, how to build high converting ad creatives, and overall how to run ads that make you money and are profitable. Also, more likely you're going to be spending thousands of dollars trying to make this work. You're going to be testing multiple products, multiple ad strategies, spending money with no real positive return on the ad spend, hoping something works, hoping a product clicks. And lastly, you will probably quit. And that is the honest truth. And quite honestly, it's understandable because after you've spent months and thousands of dollars trying to make something work, but it doesn't, you will feel like quitting and giving up. And that is what most dropshippers do. Well, you might be thinking, well, how is he so sure of it? And the reason I'm confidently saying this, and I know this is a huge possibility and happens to a lot of people, is because most of our students that work with us have been through a similar phase, including Sam. So most people went on their own way, trying to figure it out all by themselves. However, in the bigger picture, they lose more than they gain. And to share with you more about Sam's journey, Sam and I had a chat nearly about 4 to 5 months before he joined our program. And during that time, he decided to go on his own and try to make it work. But in those 4 months, he had lost thousands of dollars and had wasted 4 months of his time trying to make things work, trying to figure things out. And from there, in a matter of couple months, we've helped him build and scale his store to multiple 5 figures. Now, one thing I would also like to share is working with us did way more than just helping Sam build a successful store. However, more importantly, in a matter of months, Sam had his first $10,000 month, quit his 9 to 5 job, attained a level of financial freedom where he doesn't need to stress about money every month, and most importantly, it allowed him to spend more time with his family while working from the convenience of his home and building a profitable online business. Having a successful store will not only provide you with money, but will also make a huge difference in your life, which will also result in a better life for your family and your loved ones. So with that being said, what is the second way for you to move forward from here? The second way is where my team and I work with you personally. We take you by the hand and show you exactly every single thing that you need to do in order to go from zero to building a multi-5-figure store in record time, and more importantly, how to maintain that and do that consistently. That is your second option, joining our personal mentorship program, where we have worked with both complete beginners and failed dropshippers and have helped them build a multi-5-figure store. So it doesn't matter if you're completely new to dropshipping and don't even understand how it works properly, or if you have been trying to make this work for months but haven't been able to find success, we can help you. Now, it's very important that I tell you that this isn't just another course like many others out there where you get a few trainings and then you are on your own. This is a mentorship program, and not just any mentorship program, but a lifetime mentorship program where you will be working personally with myself and my team. So what does that mean? Number one, there is no 30-day, 60-day or 90-day limit to the mentorship program and the support of myself and my team. My team and I will be working with you and helping you out for as long as you need our help. And that could be a year, 2 years, or even 7 years. You will always have us helping you out. Number two, you will not only get personal access to myself, where I'll be guiding you through each part of the process, but alongside that, you will also have my team working for you. That's right, my team will be working for you. So while working with us, if you ever feel stuck in a situation and are not sure what to do and would like some hands-on help, my team will do it for you. Alongside guidance and mentorship, you also get access to a team that will work for you. Now, what exactly do we cover in the mentorship program? As I said earlier, we will be holding your hand and teaching you every single thing you need to know in order to build a multi-5-figure dropshipping store. And this includes product research to copywriting, how to write ad copies, how to create high converting ad creatives, multiple Facebook ad strategies based on different budgets, TikTok organic marketing, TikTok paid strategies, scaling strategies, how to troubleshoot ads if you don't see sales, how to troubleshoot your funnel, product pricing, and on and on and on. Overall, we'll be covering everything that goes into building a successful store, and more importantly, a successful, profitable dropshipping store. Also, once you join the mentorship program, you'll have 24/7 personal access to myself, and you can directly reach out to me whenever you have any questions or need any help. And again, as I mentioned earlier, not only will you be coached on what to do and the strategies to use, but you'll also have my own team as a support to help you through each step of the process. Also, as a free bonus, once you join the mentorship program, my team will be building your first store for you. So alongside teaching you how to build a high converting branded store, my team will also be building your first store for you. And this includes everything from design to copywriting to making sure it is set up for success. Now, some of you might be hearing this and be thinking to yourself, well, all of that is great, but I've previously been in a course and I didn't see any results. And I completely understand that. So real quick, let me break down for you why most people who join courses fail. So this is what usually happens. You join the course, you get the trainings, you go through the trainings and you start to implement things. When you start to implement things, you come across an obstacle. You get stuck and you don't know exactly what to do, and the course doesn't cover what you should do in your specific situation because the course was designed as a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter program. The next thing you know, you're struggling and there is no one to answer your questions and help you navigate your problem that is specific to you. So eventually you get frustrated, you try to figure it out yourself, you fail, and you give up. This is what usually happens. And after having helped over 300 dropshippers, I've seen firsthand that not every dropshipper has the same exact journey, which means not every dropshipper faces the same problems. You might face issues that someone might not, and this is why with our program you have 24/7 personal access to myself and my team, where we will be there to help you through each step of the journey. It's a personalized mentorship program, so you won't ever feel like you've been left in the dark, and you'll always have someone beside you holding your hand and helping you out. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to quit your 9 to 5 job, or if you're still in college, if you want to build something of your own that doesn't limit you to an office desk, and if you want to attain a level of financial freedom where you don't have to stress about money, and most importantly, if you want to spend more time with your family while working from the convenience of your home and building a profitable online business that will not only provide for you, but also provide much bigger things for your friends and your family, and in the process, make multi 5 figures a month, this is your chance to get started and take action. Now keep in mind, within the mentorship program, we do have a qualification process because we cannot work with everyone. And since it's personal mentorship, we only work with a select number of people at any given time. And I personally want to make sure that we only work with people who are ready to commit and ready to take action. So if you're interested in the mentorship program, click the button below and you will be redirected to an application form. It's a simple form with a few questions. Fill it out and submit it. You'll then be redirected to Facebook, where you and I will have a conversation. I'd like to get to know you better and learn more about your journey, what you're going through, so that I can better understand how we can best help you. After having a chat with you and going through your application, if we think you are a good fit, we'll enroll you into the program and share more information from there. However, if we think you're not a good fit, I'd still like to have a chat with you and help you out as much as I can. So click the button below. Take action right now if you want to change things in your life and build a business that will help you design the life you want for yourself and your family. Also, as I mentioned at the beginning, that you'll get a free bonus if you watch till the end. So if you want to get access to the product sourcing supplier guide, simply go to this link, and on this page, you'll be able to download the promised free bonus. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for sticking around and watching till the end. I hope you learned a lot from this training, and I hope to see some of you inside our mentorship program. And I'll be looking forward to helping you guys build and scale your store to multi 5 figures like Sam and our other students. With that being said, thank you for your time, and I wish you the best.